Hey everybody, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Let's have a look at our orchid collection today. It is really exciting. Lots of things waking up, starting to happen. And I think we're going to have some Cattleya blooms. Within the next, I would say like 5 weeks or so, we're going to have Cattleya blooms. Really exciting. Alright, let's look at that first. Alright, this is a Cattleya rex. This is the clonal name Iliapu, means lightning in Quechua, and its leaf has split. It looks really nice and big, and it is starting to push, and there is a sheath inside there, so that's super exciting. Last year Iliapu bloomed with 2 flowers, and I wasn't here to see them, so hopefully I'll be able to see these when they bloom. And Mayu's not far behind. Mayu's got 3 growths, and they're all pretty much in the same place, which is exciting because maybe that gives us a possibility that they'll all bloom at the same time. That would be fantastic. Over here we've got Orku with 2 big nice growths also pushing out, and then a third one down here that's quite a little bit behind the other 2. And then, yeah, it's just several of them are kind of getting to that point where the leaves are coming out. And as soon as those leaves split open, it's not long before that sheath pushes out. This one's exciting. This one's never bloomed. Always been a good grower, but hasn't bloomed yet. It's got 2 growths on it this year. And this one's already popped open. And there's a sheath inside there, so we might get 2 flower spikes off this one too. So the prettiest, in my opinion, so far is this plant. This is Inti. You can see it's carrying a seed pod. I crossed it with Mayu, the awarded clone, last summer, so we should have some really, really good, well-shaped, and maybe some large flowers coming out of this seed pod. And then it's got a nice growth coming down there. Big, looking good. Hopefully we'll get some more flowers on that. Just really looking exciting. Now this one, actually, interestingly enough, I don't see any new growth on this one yet. This is actually 2 plants. There's one on the right side and then one over here on the left side. I stuck them as little seedlings. I stuck them to the same piece of wood, and they've just kind of taken it over, and now they almost look like one plant, but there's actually 2 different plants on there. So that's exciting. Other Cattleyas, this is the Cattleya Jose Marti. I think I said last week or the week before I was going to split it up. I went ahead and did that yesterday. I just pulled it out of the pot and was able to just kind of pull it into 2 pieces. And I looked real carefully at the places where the plant came apart, and it looked good. I didn't see any weird discoloration or anything. It hasn't bloomed yet. This is a white Cattleya. It's supposed to be white, floofy, fragrant, beautiful. It was just getting so big I had to separate it. So this division I am looking to get rid of. If anyone's interested, let me know. And then I'm going to keep this division here. This is Bob Betts White Lightning by Bowbells Snowflake, and I think that this was bred by Shogun Orchids in Hawaii. Shogun Hawaii. Not 100% sure, but I think it is. Let's see. Hal, I am really excited that Hal is doing something finally. I don't want to pull him out here, but kind of a plus and a minus. This bulb, you can see, is turning black from the top, but I'm not too worried about it. It's going slowly. It's from the top, and I think it's just taking that bulb. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. It does have new growth starting on the opposite side, and I'm hoping it's not going to try to spike again. I'm hoping it'll actually try to bloom, or sorry, put out a leaf, a new bulb. And then here we got Mormonia Jumbo World. It had such a good year last year. It's doing weird stuff this year. So the newest growth looks like it's coming out of the flower spike on this side, and on this side there is a new growth coming out there as well. out of the old flower spikes. So you can barely just see a little hint of green down there. So that's interesting. Normally it will put new growth out of a little place like down here, and it still might. But it looks like we've already got 2 new growths pushing out. Maybe we can get another one. I'm just going to leave it as is. It does have little bulbs inside the pot as well, and I would expect that those will try to start growing too. So we might have multiple growths on Jumbo World this year. It will definitely outgrow this pot, but I think we're going to try to stay in this pot for 1 more year. This little Rebecca Northern, this is Grapefruit Pink. This is an awarded clone. It was given a CCM, I believe. And it's got a new little growth. And this is actually, this is from the same plant, but these are, the bulbs, 2 of the bulbs are stuck together and 1 of them is separated. But I just put them all in there because it's the same clone. Stuck them all in there together. The other Rebecca Northern, the one from SVO's list this summer, still kind of asleep, not really doing anything. And then Signoches Cooperi coming along nicely. Excited about this guy. Looking for a really big, nice growth this year. It's in moss with leca at the bottom. Totally dry right now. Hopefully it's got some roots starting to push. And when I start seeing roots wrapping around the bottom, that's when I know it'd be okay to water if I want to. Bulb's still nice and fat though. Cattleya seedlings looking great. This is Cashins, Triony Cashins, just finishing up its latest growth. Nice bulb there. This is a Labiata. It's another Labiata looking great. Really nice color on that one. This is a Mossii, and look at the size of the new growth on this thing. Look at that. What on earth? That's gonna be huge. Dang. Serious? This is supposed to be a dark, kind of a dark red. Not red, but a really intense coloration on this clone. It's not a typical Mossii. It's more like I guess you could call it like a rubra clone. It's supposed to be. We'll see. It's a seedling, so we don't know what it's going to look like. Then, of course, Jessie Lee, one of my few hybrid Cattleyas with a nice new growth pushing out there and the leaf just poking out the top. This Rex, this is one of the first that bloomed. Actually, this is the very first Rex that bloomed back in 2019. This is Cattleya. Cattleya is the moon, the word for moon in Quechua. And Cattleya has got some suspicious looking black coloration on this bulb, and it has slowly gotten larger. And it's also kind of creeping up the back of that base of it there too. And so, again, it's pretty slow, so I'm not like freaking out or anything, but I don't want to lose this plant if I can help it. So yesterday I gave it a soak. I soaked it all day in a concentrated solution of Inocucore garden solution. It's basically beneficial fungi and bacteria in a soup. And I've read that regular treatments of Inocucore can turn the tide against pathogenic bacteria and fungi, but I think it has to be done regularly and consistently, and that's where I really kind of fail sometimes. Is I'll do a big treatment and then I'll just forget about it for 2 months, and then so we'll see. It's obviously, you know, it's the front part of the plant's doing well. It's rooting. It was repotted a few months ago. It's got a nice new growth pushing there, but I'm a little suspicious. I don't know. I would hate to see that stuff start creeping up and taking out the rest of the plant, but I feel like I've got time if I need it to do something. The back of the plant's rooting too, though, so I don't know. I just hate cutting into things if it's not necessary, and I just don't know if it's necessary yet. What else? What else? What else? Signodes Wine Delight back here. That little growth is really pushing up, and he's got roots pushing down there. And I actually, you know what? I actually gave this plant a little bit of water yesterday, and the reason is because, one, it's a hybrid, so it's okay. Two, my temperatures are warm, so it's not. I'm not worried about anything rotting. But three, the plant's roots are just growing really, really well right now, and I kind of want to keep that going. I don't want to dry them out too much, so I just gave it a little bit of water yesterday, and lots of nice roots. I can even see a root poking out the top there. You see it back there? So yeah, I did give a little bit of water. No fertilizer, but just a little bit of water. And then, as usual, our seedlings coming along. This is Hardiana. I'm really excited that Hardiana seems to be putting out a much larger growth than its previous growth. This is the previous one. It came out pretty well. So this is Varsovicii FMB by Daliana Stewart. That FMB clone sells for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'm glad to have this. And then right behind it, look at this. Cattleya walkeriana. I polled the Instagram crowd this week, and it was kind of 45-55% on whether or not this is going to spike or not. I don't know. I really hope it does, but if you're a walkeriana expert, maybe you can tell me if you think that looks like it could spike or not. I don't know. And then let's see, any other exciting developments with the seedlings? Nothing too exciting. Well, this Rosita, the new growth on this Rosita is humongous. That's going to be huge. Wow, that's exciting. Nice new big leaves coming out. This is a Rex. I think this is probably multiple plants, maybe 2 or 3 different seedlings in a pot. But doing really well here. I have to be really careful once they get to this size, because this is when you start to have to be really, really, really extra careful with the water. And it's in a little plug of sphagnum, and then that little plug of sphagnum is potted in bark. So I know that the core of that is going to stay wetter longer, especially in a plastic pot. So I have to really, really exercise restraint with watering this guy, even though I really want to. Drier is better. Erring on the side of dryness is definitely a better way to go. Well, yeah, we just got lots of little new leaves popping out here. These little guys. Hi. Just going right along. I received, I got some information the other day that I'm kind of, I don't know, I want to be skeptical of it, but I guess I don't have any reason to. I bought a 5-pack of 5 different varieties of Rex in a flask, and Cattleya grower in Canada told me that the Flamea type of Rex, which the Flamea type has white petals but has streaks of pink in the petals and in the sepals too. And he said he was talking to Manolo of Peruflora, and that very, very few, like 1 out of 50 seedlings that are bred for that actually come out having it. So I was hoping that by getting, I think I actually got it about 60 or 70 of the different seedlings. So I'm hoping out of that mix I could get a few. I thought that, I didn't realize that it didn't breed through very well. So we'll see. I mean, there's plenty of plants we're going to see. I expect a lot of variety in the flowers that we get, but I was a little bit shocked to see that those traits don't breed through, at least according to this person, what they said. So we'll see. Hopefully, out of all of these, we'll get some cool ones. Wouldn't you think? We'll get at least a few really cool ones. I mean, there's supposed to be Rositas, which are pink, semi-albas, which are almost totally white, Then the Flammea with the red streaks. Splash with yellow streaks. And then the Ayacucho variety, which is more yellow, with kind of purplish leaves. So I mean, there's going to be some variety in here. I'm not too worried about that. But, oh, and then one more piece of news. So the first time my Rexes bloomed, the first ever 2 Rexes to bloom, it was Inti and Cattleya. And I used pollen from this plant, and I put it in this plant back in 2019, and I got a seed pod, and I sent half the seed to the original grower on eBay that I got the original flask from back in 14. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna make this go full circle. So I sent half the seed back to that flasker, and then I sent the other half the seed to Myers Laboratory or Myers Conservatory in Washington. So I was just curious because here we're almost 2 years after getting seed from this cross, and I had good news that there was lots of viable seed in there, and they were going to be able to make lots and lots of seedlings. And this flasker, I hadn't heard from him for a while, so I just sent a message last week, and I said, hey, I was just curious. It's been 2 years since those germinated. Just curious, when you think they'll be ready. And they go, oh, I'm sorry to let you know that I had a major contamination event and I lost almost everything in my lab, so I'm not flasking anymore. And I was like, oh man, that's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. But then I was thinking, and I'm just like, so you had like something like 20 flasks of seed, of Cattleya Rex seed that came from me, and you lost them all, and you didn't even let me know? Like, you didn't think to tell me? I don't know. Something didn't quite seem right about that. So, if you happen to see someone listing lots of flasks of Cattleya Rex on eBay, those might be mine. I mean, I want to believe them, but it just seems really, really weird. Like if someone sent you seed and you were flasking for them and then you lost them all, wouldn't you let them know? I would think. So anyway, the good news is Myers Laboratory still has tons of it, and I think the last count I saw was like 370 plants from that one cross, and then from another cross that I put in last year, he's estimating over 500 plants from that. So if you want to try Cattleya Rex seedlings, sign up at Myers Conservatory. There's going to be a ton of them coming through there, and they are all from me, from these guys. All right, that is all. Again, just really excited. Looks like lots of fun things are happening. Growths are getting close to completing, and it's not going to be long now before we see some flowers. Thanks for joining me here on My Greed Pets. I'm going to see you next time, and until then, happy growing. See ya.